Rejoice, because there is only love. Humanity's awakening process is proceeding apace, more rapidly and effectively than we had thought possible. And this is because so many of you are setting the intent daily to be only loving, and then following through on that intent in almost every situation that arises in your daily lives. You are all to be congratulated for your sterling efforts in making the awakening process work. The chaos and conflict worldwide, not to mention the confusion that is arising, signify that the foundations underpinning the illusion are indeed collapsing and that there is no way that they can be rebuilt or repaired. The illusion's days are coming to an end as more and more of you choose not to buy into the system of competitive and destructive game playing that it has constantly presented to humanity as the only sane way to live on Earth. Ever-increasing numbers of you are seeing and realizing how insane are the systems and rules of the utterly deceitful game playing that have been ongoing and encouraged within the illusion over the eons. Your awareness of this is nudging you most effectively toward awakening, because you are extremely tired of playing these games in which there are only losers. Yes, it does seem, if you look solely at the material benefits that can be achieved by playing these games, that there are a few wealthy and powerful individual winners who run the world, leaving the majority of humanity suffering and impoverished. But the world of competitive materialism is unreal, and lasts but an instant for the winners. In the grand scheme of things, a human life is lived for only an extremely short period of time, and then the body is laid to rest. What was seemingly achieved materially, often at great apparent cost, is lost instantly, and in that moment of human death, it becomes very clear indeed that in fact nothing was achieved, and nothing was lost. The honors that are often awarded to important or well-known humans after they have died are truly meaningless, whereas the honors that are awarded from the heavenly realms are eternal. And the vast majority of humans are most highly honored in the spiritual realms for choosing to incarnate on earth at this moment, because they were all fully aware that it could and would be a very painful experience for much of the time. Yes, there are moments of joy and happiness, but they are only brief because the issues of life as a human, presented by the illusory environment that most humans inhabit, demand enormous amounts of energy from each individual in order just to stay alive. Deep within themselves, each human knows that life should not be filled with pain and suffering, and that pain and suffering, that sense of separation and abandonment, leads quickly to rage or anger due to the fear that this human life is all that is available, and that it will be followed inevitably by death, where judgment, blame, and punishment may well be meted out. Not a very happy prospect, so rage that this might be the truth is totally understandable. Rage and anger are separating devices that encourage you to avoid close and intimate relationships. But it is only through close and intimate relationships that you will awaken and return home. Home is God, is source, is love, and in that state there is no room for even the slightest amount of anything that is not in perfect alignment with love. Anything that is at all unloving blocks love from the heart, holds it off, refuses to allow it to enter. And love only enters by invitation because it always honors the freedom and intent of the one on whom it is calling. However, as the life aspects or attitudes of anger, rage, a sense of separation, and an intense sense of fear are completely unreal, they will dissolve. But those who engage with them, mainly out of fear, along with the intense sense that they are unsafe unless they build powerful defenses behind which they can seek protection, can hold on to those protective attitudes for a very long time, even through many human lifetimes. Eventually they will open to love. It is impossible not to, because each is one with it. You and God are one, and you cannot hide indefinitely from that most wondrous self. And all exist at one with God. Therefore even those most intensely embedded within the illusion, and most enthusiastically playing the games of divide and conquer available there, will allow love into their hearts eventually as the games and the illusion dissolve, leaving them no other option. And what a glorious option that is! Truly life is a state of eternal joy, and the little life that you experience as humans is far removed from that. You are real. Reality is where you have your eternal existence, enveloped and enfolded within the divine field of love that is all that exists. Hence the statement made in many enlightened holy books, God is. Nothing else needs to be said. Nevertheless, for humans, that is just a rather puzzling and perhaps meaningless statement, because as humans you are forever doing and worrying and preparing and planning, and to just be without activity of some kind makes no sense to you. It is a paradox that can only be understood by knowing it. God is, and so are you, and when you return home, although of course you have never left home because there's nowhere that you could go, full knowing and understanding, full consciousness will awaken within you, returning you to that state of infinite and eternal joy which you temporarily hid from yourselves as you played your games of separation and fear. That temporary moment of insanity is coming to an end as the tsunami of love, the ceaseless call to you all from Mother, Father, God, Source Love, finally awakens you from your seemingly endless dreams and nightmares to be one once more with all that is. That is your natural state, the only state possible, and all that has been distracting you for eons will fall away and dissolve as though it had never been, because, of course, it never has. God created you perfect, and that has never changed. An unreal thought occurred to you and you engaged with it, rather thoughtlessly, and so the illusion appeared to come into existence. You have been distracted from reality by it for these seeming eons of time while you engaged with it with your severely limited human abilities and convinced yourselves that it was reality. A place where you had to struggle and fight for survival, while acknowledging that in the end the struggle was futile, because into your human bodies you had implanted an unalterable time switch or clock that started to run down immediately, leading to inevitable decay and death. The term you use frequently today in your material environment is planned obsolescence. That is why your fear arose, because, obviously, death is the end, the termination point, separation. For one who is one with God to even dream of being separated is terrifying. Yet you engaged with that thought of the impossible so intently that it seemed to overwhelm you and place you in an environment that contained all that was not love. Rejoice, because there is only love, and that is where you have your endless and eternal existence, forever at one with God, and that never has and never will change. You will awaken into reality, and fear and all its many disguises and companions will be gone as though they had never existed, which, of course, they haven't. Complete and utter joy awaits your awakening. I know because that is where I am, and shortly you will all join with me there. Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman2.wordpress.com